Our 30s is a time in our lives when things start just piling up. Our work starts to pile up. Our unmet goals in life, our passions, they start to pile up. Family commitments start to pile up. And amidst all of this chaos, we are somehow supposed to find time for ourselves, for our mental well-being, for our physical well-being. And that's what the crazy part is about our 30s. Now I'm a couple years in and I've seen this transition, and surprisingly I think 28, 29 is when things started to hit home. And over the last 4 years things have changed in the world as well, the work culture, all of those things, and kind of we are now moving back into a hybrid or back to office kind of thing, and that's going to again take away a lot of the time that we have. So I wanted to talk about a few things that I feel could help you guys in your 30s, as these things, or at least some of these things, as I implement these while I'm in my 30s and I juggle across all of these things as they are helping me, basically, right? So I have a few bullet points here, and I'm gonna just start with that. All right, so let's get started. Number one is setting up our priorities. Now, 20s is a time where we have a huge ass list of things that we want to do. As we start to touch our 30s, we start to also realize that that might not be possible, or at least that might not be possible today. We might need to wait, let's say 5 years for one thing, maybe 10 years for another one, maybe a couple of years for another something. So it makes sense to start prioritizing things in our 30s and just having a little bit more patience. That's one of the things that I personally lacked throughout my 20s, and I'm starting to develop patience on, for example, like I want to get better at drawing. And in my 20s I used to be like, all right, I want to get better at drawing and I'm going to draw every day for a year. Now I know that's possibly not going to work, so I'm going to set a good enough goal, but I'm going to say I'm going to get better at drawing in 5 years. And I know time flies very fast, so when 5 years pass, I don't want to look back and say, I just tried it for a year, I tried it very passionately, but I couldn't continue because my schedule, my calendar, my life didn't permit. So I want to look back and I want to say, all right, I did something consistently for 5 years. Doesn't need to be like Olympic level effort. So I think that's an extremely important point, that we need to prioritize things as we enter our 30s. Number two is, which I think comes hand in hand with priorities, which is setting clear boundaries. So boundaries such as no work calls after 7:30 p.m. Of course, there are going to be some days where that's simply not possible, but for most days, setting up a rule like this, setting up a rule that also allows you to not do personal work while you are at work. So that's also extremely important. So setting these kind of clear boundaries is going to be very, very helpful. You can go as granular as, I don't go out on third and fourth Saturday of a month. I just do the kind of house chores and I kind of do whatever is pending. So these kind of things are, or these kind of rules are going to make life easy for you in multiple ways. One is, of course, you'll have a structure to life. So you will have clear boundaries and you'll have that structure. But second is, let's say it's third Saturday of the month. A friend asks, blah, 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 we are going out. Yeah. Do you want to come along? You say, no, I don't go out on the last 2 Saturdays, or I don't go out on last Saturday of a month, etc., etc. You get the gist, right? That is a rule. And once your circle, your friends, they know the rule, they're going to just kind of stop bothering you on those days, and they'll start understanding these things, because even they are in their 30s and they understand these kind of boundaries. Maybe initially they might not, but with time they will understand these boundaries and they will respect these boundaries. So you won't even be tempted to kind of break the boundaries that you've set. So it really, really helps. Number three is just prioritizing our mental and physical health. Most of my friends, this includes me as well, are in some sort of kind of mental struggle. Either they don't have enough self-confidence, they feel like they're not good enough, there's imposter syndrome, there's the feeling that they're not enjoying life as much as they should. They're just in kind of that day-to-day rut of work, home, work, home, work, home kind of thing. So they feel unfulfilled, and all of that is not good. So prioritizing our mental health, talking to a professional if need be, is extremely, extremely important. And then also the physical health, that really, really helps. Now that's something that I've been slacking off on personally. So that's something that I want to pick up as we get into, of course, I don't want to say, because I know it's a taboo thing, New Year goals. But that's something that I do want to do consistently, and I'm fortunate enough to have a CEO that actually pushes me regularly that have you exercised or not? Have you gone to the gym or not? How long has it been since you were in the gym last? So these are, I like that. And I think that's extremely important because it helps us not just be productive but be healthy like in general, and it protects our personal life, it protects our work life, and that's extremely important. So that's something that you might want to give some time into, at least thinking, all right, what do you want to do now. This is something that, by the way, a tip that I can help you here with is something that comes off of from Ramit Sethi. I don't know what video he mentioned this in, but he had mentioned that most of us, rather than saying that I'll be happy going to the gym twice, are going to say either I'm going to go gym 5 days or 6 days a week, or I'm not going to go to the gym at all. But here's a point: 2 is better than 0, 1 is better than 0. It's not better than 5, but it's better than 0. So going for a run once a week, going for a run twice a week is better than not going to run at all. It might not be as good as 5 days a week. So that's something that extremely important. Even if it's 1 or 2 days, get that exercise in, get that kind of mental sessions and physical sessions in. Number 3, or number 4 rather, is also, which comes along with the boundaries, which comes along with a lot of other things. I think number 1 also touches quite a lot on this, which is getting comfortable with saying no. And the reason I have it as a separate point is because we might say no when we are trying to prioritize things or when we are trying to set boundaries. But here's what happens in my mind when I say no. Am I saying no to life? I start thinking to myself, am I saying no to life? Am I not enjoying my life enough? Am I a failure? What are these guys going to think? And if I'm saying no and I'm not able to achieve what I'm saying no for, what am I doing with my life, right? So those kind of thoughts, even with that no, they are extremely harmful. So just getting comfortable with no, that's not what I do. No, I'm not comfortable. No, I don't want to go out. No, I don't want to do this. And then not thinking about it. Again, it's extremely important. So that's what I mean by getting comfortable with saying no, compared to just saying no and then kind of spending 1 hour thinking over it again and again, letting it marinate in your mind and kind of destroy your mental peace, right? So I think it's extremely important. And of course, last but not the least, before that, if you like the video, smash that like button. If you have any questions, comments, leave them in the comment section below. Subscribe to the channel. I'm going to try to be a little bit more consistent here, maybe once a week or something like that. Taking my own advice, right? So the last one is imperfection is good. And this is something that I learned quite early on, but over the last like 5, 6, 7 years, let go of this maxim, if I may, which is imperfection is okay. 80% good is good enough to actually put it out there. So if you're trying to do something, if you're trying to, let's say, exercise or work or chill or spend time with your family, 80% is fine. Imperfection is okay. It's not a problem. Striving for a perfect result is just going to cause unnecessary pressure on yourself, which kind of is going to build upon years upon year, and it's going to cause problems. So just being okay with not doing things all the way through sometimes is okay, right? So as you prioritize whatever you want to do, as you remove things from your goals over the coming years in your 30s, the decade, right? Think of also the point that if I don't reach these goals, shoot for the stars, land on the moon, something like that, right? It's okay if you don't reach there. So imperfection is not bad. It helps you build quantity. It helps you build more repetitions in, which helps you become a little bit better. That's what's important here. So keep this in mind, in my opinion. And as you can probably guess, a lot of these tips, they have that hindsight lessons built in that I've had over the past 7, 8, 9 years for myself, over the past couple of years in my 30s alone for myself as well. And I really hope that these do help you. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I'll see you guys next time.